Hello and welcome to the Crowley ISD PLC Curriculum Preview for the 5th grade Mathematics. In this video, we will discuss proper use of the PLC agenda, leading questions, identify curriculum hotspots, address new math TEKs, and provide real-time instructional strategies that will include the effective use of tiered exit tickets, as well as utilizing the data collected for in-class interventions. At the end of this video, teachers will complete the PLC for the Math PLC for the new Math TEK 5.4F. Units covered in the third 6 weeks are Unit 6, Addition and Subtraction of Fractions, and Unit 7, Multiplication and Division of Whole Numbers by a Fraction. Please pause the video to review the Unit 6 Local Assessment Blueprint. Take time to note the instructional days and the assessment posting and administration dates. Beginning the third 6 weeks, assessments will be posted 72 hours before the testing date. Now take a moment to review the Unit 7 Local Assessment Blueprint. For today's PLC purpose, materials teachers will need are the Unit 6 and 7 IFDs, the Content Builder, the PLC for the Math PLC document, and the PLC agenda located on the CTL, as well as green, yellow, and blue highlighters. At this time, we'll be using organizing instruction using the TEK Standard Types document or Content Builder. For the purpose of today's PLC curriculum preview, we'll be using the Unit 6 IFD, which covers addition and subtraction of fractions. At this time, please read the TEKs listed on pages 14 through 24 of the Unit 6 IFD. As you review the TEKs, highlight in yellow the supporting standards and highlight the readiness standards in green. All remaining standards are process standards and will be highlighted in blue. Please take a moment to complete this task. Now use the highlighted IFD as a key to place each standard in the corresponding color-coded graphic organizer. Before we identify the hotspot TEK for the third 6 weeks, let's discuss the 3 leading questions on the PLC agenda page. What do we want our students to learn? How will we know when they have learned it? And what will we do if they don't? Let's begin with leading question 1. What do we want our students to learn? As a part of the PLC process, the what, we will discuss our hotspot. For the third 6 weeks, we will target 5.4F. This was also the targeted standard for the second 6 weeks. We have selected 5.4 again because this is the lowest performing readiness standard for the previous units this year. Let's take a moment to review the district data from the previous units. You may want to pause the video at this time to review your specific campus and/or teacher data for this standard and discuss what your campus goal is for this standard when it is assessed again in Units 6 and 7 of the third 6 weeks. When discussing what we want students to learn, teachers will need to use their IFD, specifically paying close attention to the TEK breakdown in the specificity section. This is the what teachers will need to teach and what students must learn in order to master the TEK. Please take time now to read over this specificity in the Unit 6 IFD and determine what context the standard will be taught. Now look at the specificity provided on the Unit 7 IFD for the same standard. Now pause the video to discuss how does the specificity for this standard differ between Units 6 and 7? How does the specificity differ from the way that it was previously taught in Units 2 and 4? Leading question 2 is, how will we know students have learned it? This question includes the in-class formative assessments you create in order to assess student learning immediately, therefore being able to reteach when needed. This may include the use of whiteboards, clickers or polling apps using the iPads, students writing and journaling, or exit tickets, which will be demonstrated later in this video, or other quick assessment tools. The next slides will provide sample questions found in the Enhanced Clarification document. Please pause as needed to discuss the rigor of these sample items and how these can be used as formative assessments throughout the lessons. This sample problem from the Enhanced Clarification document shows an example of simplifying an expression involving addition and subtraction. This applies to Unit 6, Addition and Subtraction of Fractions. The next sample problem demonstrates simplifying an expression involving multiplication and division. Please take time to review all sample items on the enhanced clarification document to use as possible formative assessments. This document contains several examples demonstrating parentheses and brackets, double parentheses, as well as sample items with division bars. The last leading question is, what will we do when students don't learn? This question can sometimes be interpreted as what teachers will do outside of the class time, but this leading question actually addresses what the teacher should do during class time to reteach immediately when they see the disconnect when completing the formative assessments discussed in question 2. An example intervention would be grouping students together and letting those who have mastered the TEAC complete the next lesson, or complete an enrichment activity, while the teachers provide support to students who need additional assistance in the small group setting. We will now use the PLC for the Math PLC page as a tool to create a detailed lesson plan for 5.4F. By using all the components of this document, classroom instruction will move to a higher level of understanding, as well as offer opportunities for students to transfer information. Transfer of learning is the ability to apply knowledge learned in one context to new context. Transferring learning means the learner recognizes common features among concepts, skills, or principles, links the information into memory. This is when the students say, "Oh, I know how to use that." The learner sees the value of utilizing what was learned in one situation in another. This is when students can show their learning not only when a sample looks like what the teacher gave, but also when it does not. Before planning, let's review our end product, the performance assessments found in the IFD. While reviewing the performance assessment from Unit 6, please notice that this activity combines 7 process standards and 4 readiness and supporting standards. The combining of all these standards allows for the rigor of the activity to be increased and provides opportunities for students to transfer knowledge. Please pause the video at this time to read over this performance assessment. Now let's review this performance assessment from the Unit 7 IFD. Please notice that this activity again combines 7 process standards and 4 readiness and supporting standards. Please pause the video at this time to allow for discussion. Because we have covered how to complete the PLC for the Math PLC in previous 6 weeks videos, please pause the video and complete this task with your team with an emphasis placed on designing lessons that will lead to mastery of the performance assessment, as well as including previous sample items for daily student formative assessments. The next slides will provide real-time examples demonstrating the use of exit tickets and differentiate interventions based on the data the teacher collects. Although some of you already use exit tickets in your classroom, this algebra teacher has an innovative way to administer tiered exit tickets. This is just a small portion of the video. Please see the full version on theteachingchannel.com.
Please make sure you hand in your calculator at the end. Calculator and exit card.
I'm Marie Barchi. I've never not done an exit card. It's something I just do every day. It's just come natural with it's part of every lesson.
Okay, our aim today is how do we solve and graph 1 and 2 step linear inequalities.
As I walk around whilst other students are presenting their work, I really get a feel for who's struggling. Okay, this you should always cross multiply your variable first. You know, when you walk by their paper and the problem's not done, it's because they clearly couldn't do it. And that's kind of how I identify at the end of the period who's getting which of the 2 exit cards.
Okay, guys, you're gonna work on the exit card now. There's 2 questions. You have more than enough time. On your way out, where does it go? In the box. Very nice.
I give a grade level exit card and I give an above grade level exit card.
Let's review our steps while I hand out the exit card. What steps do we take to solve and graph 1 and 2 step linear inequalities?
I always make sure before I hand out the exit card that I summarize my lesson.
What is step number 2, which only happens sometimes, Ashley?
You flip the sign.
The fact that we reviewed that you need to flip your inequality sign when you multiply or divide by a negative number, reinforce that right before they worked on the exit card. So maybe not all of them got that right, but most of them are like, oh my God, we just went over that, I have to flip it. So I think that it's important to review your aim.
Please make sure you hand in your exit card.
The kids are constantly asking me, can we have our exit card back from the day before? We want to see how we did on our exit card.
Here's an example of how to use the data from the exit tickets to create in-class interventions as demonstrated in a Crowley ISD classroom.
Hello, my name is Becky Barton and I teach the 4th grade at Jackie Cardin Elementary.
Kids play. 4, 3, 2. Somebody remind me of the rules, particularly for the back of the line, Julius?
Today, I will be demonstrating how to differentiate instruction for students based on the previous day's exit ticket data. Before we get to your problem solving today, we are going to work in your workstations to practice the division, especially the division we were having a little trouble with yesterday. I begin class by separating the students into groups based on the skill level I assessed through their exit tickets. So, I've got a group, Samad, Brooklyn, Embry, and Isaac. You're gonna be with me, and we're gonna make sure that we've got your 2-digit divided by 1 digit, all solid. For 3-digit divided by 1 digit. My coaches, Martin, Emery, and Peyton. You guys have shown me that over and over, you're getting this. And then yesterday, when we did the 4-digit divided by 1 digit, Elena, Jalen, and Haley are gonna be one group. Alana, Joel, and Julius are gonna be another. I can then work individually with the group that needs the most assistance and scaffold the learning for the other 2 groups who have mastered the TEAG and are ready to move on.
Low number in your head and count up and down. You got it. We try this one. 46 divided by 4, and you got 36 with remaining. Okay, I want you each to try that one now, and then see if you can go to the 3-digit divided by 1 digit.
By the end of the class, I am able to target students who need more extensive tutorials.
I hope that you have enjoyed watching the instructional strategies in action. I appreciate you participating in the PLC curriculum preview. When you plan on utilizing the tiered exit tickets, please invite us in as we would love to see classroom implementation. If you have suggestions for future curriculum previews, please submit ideas to haley.veron@crowley.k12.tx.us. Also, I would like to hear from you if you have an instructional strategy that you would like to showcase in upcoming videos. Finally, be sure to submit a copy of the PLC for the Math PLC document, the PLC agenda, and the content builder to the appropriate campus designee. Thank you, and as always, I appreciate your time.